The culture at Imagination has a very family feel. Everyone you speak to is really willing to share their knowledge and help you with any tasks that you have issues with.
It's collaborative. And I add one more word, it's inclusive.
It's very free, like we can directly approach anyone to get to check with things, or we can suggest improvements without any hesitation. So the innovation takes the precedence over everything.
We can sort of approach the problem in various ways, so in a way that doesn't stifle creativity and encourages people to sort of think independently and come up with their own solutions to things.
So one of the things that I really like about the culture at Imagination is I feel like the company is a good size. It's hundreds of people but not thousands. So we have a proper HR department. It feels like a professional working environment, but it's not so huge that you get lost in the machine.
So the culture at Imagination, I would describe it as it's quite relaxed, as in it's quite a friendly, welcoming culture. Like there's very little team discrimination I could see. If you want to talk to someone in another team, you can just go and do so.
The culture at Imagination is very friendly and very open.
I think the other thing I like is that Imagination seems quite good about respecting sort of boundaries. It's not one of those tech companies that tries to bleed out into every part of your life and take over. It treats you as a professional. So I go into work, I do my job, I get professional interaction with my management, but it doesn't try to take over anything else. It then lets me go and do my own thing.
We use Yammer as part of a company forum, and to which there are quite a few, it's not all work, there are quite a few forums for general interest purposes. For example, I personally I'm part of the computer gaming one. We have a little group of people who, not quite regularly, but they do occasionally post matches and have good discussions there.
So with regards to the leadership team at Imagination, it is one of the things I like most. There's a very strong technical background, so to every individual all up the stack, and this really makes me trust them.
It's clear that the leadership team cares about the employees and cares about the public perception of Imagination.
Leadership is very much engaged with the employees because every month we have like these online meetings where we get to know the direction of the company.
It still has this very, very strong technical competence. I actually believe they're still engineers at heart. And that makes it, for people like me, very, very approachable.
Whoever I'm talking to understands where I'm coming from and what I do, and feels like I can get the point across. And just generally the conversation throughout the layers is a lot more free-flowing and I suppose more efficient.
You listen to them, they listen to you. And this is not to be taken for granted. This is a rare thing.
Well, I mean, as anybody who's been following Imagination in the news knows, it's been a fairly bumpy road leadership team-wise. I think the new team, first and foremost, seemed like a very stable, level-headed bunch, which is very much what we needed at this point. I think I like that they seem to be walking a good line between having ambition for the company and having a vision for where it's going, but also being realistic and not being fantasists about this. So it's good to see that they can see a future for the company, but also that I believe it's a future we can actually achieve.
I feel the leadership at Imagination it's quite good. I know that sounds a bit vague, but it's got a very nice level of transparency to it. So every month they will go through and talk about how the company's doing. They'll tell us what's being planned. They will make sure that all the employees are included on every step of the way.
About leadership, I guess they have taken really good initiatives like employee development program.
The hybrid working framework has been very beneficial for me. It's been allowed me to choose as much or as little as time spent in the office as I need to. Spending time in the office allows me some well overdue face-to-face time with the Vulkan team, and it feels very structured and allows us to collaborate where we feel is necessary.
Hybrid working policy is really remarkable because it allows us to choose the time and the days, and yeah, basically it's very flexible.
With regards to our hybrid working policy, I've grown quite fond of it. Generally, I enjoy working from home, but I really like to have a place to come to and meet with colleagues face to face and just generally have a more professional setting than what I can improvise at home.
Working from home allows me to ingest knowledge and work on projects in an environment that is familiar to me and is an environment that is comfortable to me and allows me to work at my own pace.
Everybody can talk to their manager and decide what are the days they are very comfortable, or the time based on the traffic, or when your colleagues are coming, so you can sync between them.
The Vulcan team tries to balance the time spent working from home versus working in the office by arranging to all meet in the office occasionally for face-to-face collaboration and meetings.
Probably the best compromise between the two. It's having the choice that really helps.
So I was actually involved in the employee consultation about the hybrid working policy, and I think the thing that was interesting to me about that was I personally am somebody who very much prefers working from home. I think the thing I learned from being involved in that process was, whilst that might be a majority position, it's certainly not universal. And I think the choice for a company of hundreds of people to go with a flexible hybrid policy is really the best you can do at this kind of scale. Anything more rigid is going to penalise some people. So I think it's really good that the company has taken this flexible approach to work out what works for individual teams and individuals.
The hybrid working policy gives a lot of flexibility to allow to perform the job in the most efficient way for myself.
Being able to go in as much as I want or as little as I want, I found that you don't really need to go into the office that much. Like a lot of what we do, we can cover through text and voice chats on Teams, and should we need to come into the office, it's easy enough to just go in.
Working from home allows me to focus on specific problems without distractions or interruptions a lot better when I'm working on something alone. Coming into the office allows us to collaborate on specific problems when they arise.